This is so irritating to see. Like you know, these huge companies are just like in bed together. It's crazy. It's just the U.S. food system is such a joke. Hey everyone, welcome back. It is your favorite boy from the Midwest, Ethan, and today we're going to be looking into something that not only really irritates me about America, honestly makes me a little ashamed of America as well. But before we get into that though, guys, I want to take a moment and say, you guys have probably been noticing these the past 6 weeks. I've kept you guys fairly up to date on what's been going on with my knee. And well, as of last Thursday, I no longer need them. So this is what I'm going to do with these. Just chuck them. Hopefully I never need them again. For those of you that are interested in my knee, I can now walk. It is amazing. I am so thankful. It is stiff. I am walking with a limp. I've just started physical therapy and it is painful, but I can walk and it is so refreshing. Just 2 months of not walking has been awful, honestly. I mean, I love being able to walk. So it's so nice being able to get around again. I really do appreciate each and every one of you that reached out, have been keeping up to date with me, checking in on me. It's been really helpful through this kind of hard time in my life, for sure. So I do appreciate you guys very, very much. For those of you that are interested, I will do some form of short video in the near future, kind of going in detail of what exactly my surgery was, how my 6 weeks of recovery went, and how my physical therapy is doing. But for now, I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update of what is going on. Now, for today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 foods that are banned in Europe, but not the US. There are two things that really irritate me about America, and that is the healthcare system and our food. Our food really is shit. I feel like a lot of you Europeans and British people know that our food is pretty bad, but I'm going to just, as an American, I'm going to reiterate, it is shit. And it's just annoying that we don't have more regulations on what is sold. Now, we do have the choice to buy it or not, but there are a lot of people that are not health conscious. There are a lot of people that don't look at ingredients. A lot of the bad food is just so readily available, and a lot of our basic stores like our Price Choppers, our Save-A-Lots, our Walmarts, the majority of it is the food with the dyes and the GMOs and the hydrogenated soybean oils and the high fructose corn syrups and all these awful chemicals and dyes in our food. And a lot of the stores, it's like 80% of it, and it's just so readily available that most people just buy it, and it's honestly, it is also a little cheaper. Thankfully though, it seems like a lot of people are becoming more self-conscious. There is definitely a rise in health food stores and health consciousness. So hopefully this will become a thing of the past. But as of present, I can speak from personal experience in America. The food is awful, and it's can be hard to just go fully organic. And honestly though too, it can be hard because the bad food does taste really good and is kind of addicting, honestly. That's my personal experience, guys. But anyway, we're going to get into this video. It's going to, I know of some foods that are banned. I'm sure there's going to be some that I don't know. Maybe you guys will learn something from this video as well. For those that are already part of the channel, you guys know what to do. Let's see if we can get 500 likes on this video. Make sure that you like, share, and turn that notification bell on because I am posting 5 times a week. If you're new to the channel, watch the video. If you liked it, then please consider subscribing and joining this awesome YouTube family channel that we have going on. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Now, after this super long intro, let's get into this video and see what foods are banned in Europe, but not the US.
The European Union is as suspicious as ever when it comes to foodstuffs containing chemicals, unnatural dyes, and meat treated with synthetic growth hormones. Since 1981, the EU has had stringent rules for the importation of food to its markets, and those rules
we need a lot stricter rules.
In 1989, it banned as many as 6 growth hormones, launching a trade dispute which has lasted 30 years and counting. In 2003, it permanently banned 1 synthetic growth hormone while provisionally banning 5 others, and a whole host of dyes, chemicals, and preservatives are persona non grata in the EU as well. From hard-shelled candy delights, milk, dyed salmon, and beef and pork treated with all kinds of hormones, here are 10 foods banned in parts of the European Union that are not banned in the United States.
I just want to say real quick, the guy that is talking right now, Simon, he is in so many YouTube channels. I think he only has a few himself, but he's like featured in so many other. Such a prolific YouTuber, it's insane.
Number 10. Skittles. While not banned in the entire EU, Skittles are banned in Sweden and Norway for containing yellow dye number 5 and 6. In most parts of the EU, all that's required of the Wrigley Company, a division of Mars Inc., is to include a disclaimer suggesting that the candy could cause adverse health effects and hyperactivity. Still, it's thought that these dyes can cause allergic reactions in some people, and FDA tests have shown that red dye 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6 all contain cancer-causing agents like benzodiazepine and 4-aminobiphenol. And the levels released in the body could be much higher than the FDA is reporting, thanks to the fact that routine tests tend to find less of these cancer-causing carcinogens than when they actually pass through the colon. Still, we've never heard of anyone in the US being hospitalized after eating Skittles, but maybe that's just what they want you to think. Number 9.
That is, those dyes, they're almost in everything you can imagine over here. They're in almost every single flavored drink. It's in jellies, it's in brownies, like Little Debbie's, snack food. I mean, those dyes are super prolific over here. It's crazy.
RBGH or RBST milk. The main reason cited by the European Union for banning both recombinant bovine growth hormone and
Never heard
its
this one,
synthetic
though.
counterpart, recombinant bovine somametropin (RBST), officially is due to animal cruelty concerns, but there may be other adverse health effects linked to the use of these hormones. Both RBGH and RBST have been tenuously linked to the developments of certain cancers. In addition to that, the FDA found that further study would have to be conducted to determine the impact these hormones would have on the liver and other organs. But in addition to the potential adverse health effects of RBGH in humans, cattle treated with the growth hormone are more likely to come down with a nasty case of mastitis, inflammatory reaction in the udder tissue caused by infection from microorganisms. As a result of this disease, cattle in the US are treated with antibiotics, eliminating mastitis infections, but potentially causing other problems further down the line. Although the World Health Organization is primarily concerned about the over-reliance and overuse of antibiotics in humans, claiming that this could lead to the evolution of a superbug, 90% of antibiotics consumed aren't taken by humans. They're fed to otherwise healthy animals. And experts warn that this could lead to our livestock essentially becoming superbug factories. As the bacteria they harbor become more and more resistant to antibiotics, it's only a matter of time before these traits get passed on to bacteria that are harmful to humans. Number 8.
90% of pharmaceuticals are given to animals. I had no idea the number was that high. I guess it kind of makes sense because there's obviously way more patients in animals, like billions of animals over here as opposed to, a few 100 million people. But that is insane that they're putting that much medicine into the animals. That's crazy.
8. Papaya, corn, and soy. The genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, used in vegetables and fruit in the US have allegedly been linked to some nasty health problems. However, whether this is actually the case, we just don't know. While it is true that the US treats its produce and fruit with GMOs to make them more resistant to different diseases, and this can be largely beneficial, more research does need to be conducted in order to determine which of these is harmful to humans. Unlike the US and the FDA, the EU takes a far more cautious approach when it comes to approving GMOs, meaning that they must pass rigorous tests and environmental monitoring before they are deemed safe for consumption by citizens in their countries. However, even their system is not perfect. Recently, a batch of GMO-treated papaya began circulating through EU-controlled markets. The culprits appear to be farmers in Thailand who mass-produced GMO-treated crops. Number 7.
Yeah, obviously no system's ever going to be perfect, but at least it seems like they're trying a lot harder than over here for sure.
Breads containing azodicarbonamide. Azodicarbonamide, ADA for short, is a chemical used to bleach breads in order to increase their shelf life. Recently, companies like Subway, McDonald's, and other fast food restaurants have come under fire for using this chemical. ADA is also the chemical that allows bubbles to form inside foams and plastics like vinyl. The EU banned ADA because of its potential harmful effects on human health. Both potassium bromates, a chemical used in bread that helps it rise in the oven, and ADA have been linked to kidney and thyroid cancer in rats. So if China, Brazil, and the European Union have all banned the use of this chemical in their breads, well, why haven't the US? The fact of the matter is that the FDA just doesn't think it's dangerous. After multiple studies, it's ruled that it's not harmful in humans. The question you have to ask yourself is, well, which research do you trust more? And why? Number 6.
I'm gonna trust 3 totally different countries' research more than just one country that is benefiting from this. These huge companies are just in bed together. If so many other countries banned it and they came up with research, what is so different about your research that it's oh, okay, this is fine, just go ahead and do it? This is so irritating to see. I knew like some of this, but I didn't know it was quite like this bad.
Chlorine washed chicken. Chlorine plays many roles in the industrialized world.
Yeah.
It's a powerful tool for cleaning water supplies which otherwise might become contaminated and lead to the development of cholera when ingested, a disease which is extremely fatal if left untreated. But it's also used to clean other things, like chicken. Chlorine washed chicken means just that, chicken that's been washed with chlorinated water. According to most websites devoted to chicken and all things related to chicken, it's the internet, of course these websites exist, chlorine washing is a food safety practice which helps keep harmful bacteria from growing on poultry. But while the EU doesn't think that washing your poultry in chlorinated water will lead to adverse health effects, they do think it's a method of covering up poor hygiene practices. This understandably has made US exporters incredibly angry, as it's a decision not based in scientific evidence, but rather on paranoia. Number 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I know chlorine is a like disinfectant, so I'm not for sure what it does to the body. I'm sure in any larger dose it's not good for you. But yeah, if there's like disease and stuff going around, I mean, it'd probably better just to trash the chicken. But I kind of understand like sanitizing it. I don't know how I feel about the chlorinated chicken. I don't totally hate it on the fact of disinfecting it. But obviously, like he pointed out, if you're covering up how the chickens are raised in their butchering process, and then makes you do this, then that should be get called into question. And if you can get away with not bleaching them, then that would be better.
Instant mashed potatoes. While the FDA will argue otherwise, the preservatives butylated hydroxyanazole, BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene found in instant mashed potatoes, and pretty much every single packaged food you buy in the US, have been known to cause some cancers in rats. They're also known to impair blood clot.
I would say, yeah, this is exactly what our food labels look like. This is like, that's how the ingredients are. You don't know half the stuff. You have to spend like 20 minutes Googling every single word, and then, you know, go down that rabbit hole of like, oh, what's this, to like really even know what's in your food most of the time. That's why it is better just to like try to buy organic or just food from a health food store, because like their ingredients are like a quarter of this.
When consumed in high quantities, among
this is the super processed food.
BHA and BHT are used primarily to prevent foods from excreting oils. This prevents them from going rancid and extends their shelf life. And you can probably guess what the European Union did about this. If you guessed that they outright banned them, then congratulations, you are correct. The strange thing about the situation is that the FDA admits that BHA and BHT are probably a bit carcinogenic in nature. The FDA certified these food additives as GRAs, generally recognized as safe, but this just means that they're only regarded as safe up until a certain amount is consumed and never underwent pre-market review. Number 4, Mountain.
Yeah, but so many people eat processed food, and you're not obviously regulating how much someone puts in their body. I mean, I get it's self-choice or whatever, but just stop putting poison in the food to begin with.
You might be.
And yeah, I have to admit, this is like one of kind of weakness for me up until probably 3 or 4 months ago. I really, really like Mountain Dew. And I would drink probably one every other day is what I got down to, and then I haven't had one for a while. So I mean, they're super sugary, they're super flavorful, they're very addicting, and yeah, it's definitely one thing that if you can avoid it, definitely avoid it.
You'd be surprised to learn that your favorite lemon lime soda may contain a chemical typically used in a flame retardant, and this is an ingredient that has been banned in over 100 countries. The FDA tested the ingredients in Mountain Dew and found that they lacked enough conclusive data on one of its main ingredients, brominated vegetable oil, to decide whether or not it was safe to consume, although it's still labeled as GRAS. Of course, across the pond it's a different story. Because it competes with iodine for receptor sites in the body, high levels of brominated vegetable oil in humans can lead to thyroid problems, autoimmune diseases, and potentially cancer. In fact, bromine is considered a toxin. Although brominated vegetable oil is still legal in the United States, Pepsi and Coke decided to remove the ingredient from their soft drinks after public backlash. Number 3, farms.
That seems like the only time they actually care about changing their food is when it comes to the money. So when everyone's hating on them and stops buying their product, then they switch it just to please the people. But the companies themselves really don't care one way or the other. I mean, come on, they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola. It's just the U.S. food system is just such a joke. Yeah, I do know though over in the U.K., I think your guys' Mountain Dew doesn't have any of that stuff, so it actually is still bad for you because of the sugar content, but it's not like as bad for you. Speaking of Mountain Dew, there's a story that I'm going to post in the description below. Let you guys read it. But PepsiCo once actually won a lawsuit against a man who was trying to sue them because he found a mouse in his soda, and PepsiCo won the lawsuit because they proved the soda would have dissolved the mouse in, I think, 2 months. It's like that corrosive. It would literally dissolve a mouse in a short amount of time, which is insane.
Salmon. Eating salmon has all kinds of health benefits, but people consuming anything other than freshwater or organic salmon might be consuming a harmful carcinogen. The European Union has outright banned farm-raised salmon for good reason. So what exactly separates farmed salmon from freshwater salmon? Well, that's the fact that salmon that are raised on farms are typically fed an unnatural diet of grain, antibiotics, and other drugs that leave their meat an unhealthy-looking grey. Propagators of farm-raised salmon use a chemical known as astaxanthin to dye the unhealthy grey away. You're probably guessing astaxanthin has been banned in the EU due to health concerns, and you'd be right. What's more is that freshwater salmon growing up on natural food sources retains a
obviously healthier
quality. Number 2, US pork. Pigs in the United States are typically given food laced with ractopamine, a growth promotion drug which helps animals remain lean. The drug basically mimics the effects of stress hormones, allowing for the production of more meat while keeping feed consumption relatively low. So what might be the problem with this? Well, the company that produces the drug, Elanco, did their own testing on the drug, and this might be a decent indicator that some corners might have been cut. Shortly after the FDA approved the drug for use in American pork products, farmers began reporting that more and more pigs became non-ambulatory, which is a fancy way of saying that they can't stand or walk. These pigs tend to get treated very poorly in US slaughterhouses, getting trampled and dragged by workers and electrically shocked by cattle prods in a cruel effort to get them moving again. More than 218,000 pigs are recorded as having this condition. The FDA accused Elanco of withholding information. But despite this news, the drug is still allowed in the US. All that's changed is a big old disclaimer listing the drug's side effects. On this one, we can't really blame the EU for banning it. Sometimes being cautious pays off. Number 1.
Yeah, but again, like the number of people that actually are looking at their food over here. I mean, like I said, there is, people are starting to become conscious of this and aware, and that's really good. But you still have a huge portion of people that they're not reading the label. They just see, oh, it's package of pork, buy the package of pork, or oh, there's a bag of chips, buy the bag of chips. You don't really think about it.
US beef. Much like the EU's reasoning on banning US-sourced milk, meat sourced from cattle raised on growth hormones cannot be imported to the European Union. Believe it or not, this decision has resulted in a long-standing trade dispute between the US and the EU, lasting 30 years and counting. Unlike milk, however, the ban on US beef extends to 6 different growth hormones, with estradiol being permanently banned and 5 others provisionally banned. This has resulted in US retaliation in the form of tariffs on selected food imports from the EU, an action that the EU has heavily criticized. Not all US beef is banned in the EU, though. Just recently, a deal was reached to allow a certain market share for companies looking to export organic beef, but the tariffs do remain. The US claims that the EU's decision is not based on scientific evidence, and that they're not treating farms that use synthetic growth hormones fairly. So I really hope you found that video interesting.
Just stop using synthetic growth hormones, my goodness. Oh, yeah, that was definitely informative. There was actually a good amount of that I was not aware of. I knew a good amount. I knew a lot of the chemicals were banned, the dyes and stuff, but I didn't know the exact foods that were banned. I would wager that most of our food would be banned over there in Europe or the UK. And yes, for those that are wondering, I do know that UK is part of Europe, but not the EU, which is why I said Europe and the UK. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you learned something from this or if you already knew all this. And just let me know what your opinion is on how bad our food is over here. For anyone that comes over here, obviously try to eat organic or at a health food store. If you go out to eat, try to avoid any fast food. Maybe try to eat at maybe slightly higher end restaurants that use at least fresher food. And with that being said, guys, that's all I have for the video. It was definitely interesting. It's something that really gets me going. I get really irritated by knowing about this stuff, and I don't know what to do other than personally trying not to eat it. Like I have said in previous video, I do try to eat organic. I try not to eat out too much. I'm not a health expert though, and I'm not a nutritionalist or stuff, so there's a lot that I don't know. I'm just trying to personally, as an average American, trying to eat somewhat healthy in this crazy US food system that we have over here. So let me know what you guys thought. If you guys watched this far, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.